Plaintiff Hannah Stubbs says the defendant is her father, and he was always there for her until he met his current fiancée, who's with him in court today. Hannah claims her father's fiancée often talks badly about her and her mother, and she's suing her father today for an unpaid medical bill. Defendant Stephen Stubbs says he loves his daughter very much, and she's very smart, but she also has a very bad temper. Stephen claims Hannah even punched holes in his walls one day when she didn't get her way, and he's countersuing her for an unpaid loan and interest.
Prove your case.
I just want to start off with saying I love my father. He's always been there for me. He's been a good guy. Probably up until the time that I turned 16, which is when he met his fiancée, Marsha Lubinsky. And ever since she kind of came around, he's been different. I mean, he's always been a father that's been very worried about finances and taking care of his family. And she's a partial owner in a business, and she's very well endowed. And I was happy to see that he actually found somebody.
Don't you need another word for
yes.
that?
What would?
That has a different meaning than I think
Yes.
what you believe to be.
Give me a word, Judge. Give me a word.
Pretty well off.
There.
Financially.
She is very financially well off.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you. So around the time I was 16 is when he kind of met her. And she kind of came off as she was trying to be a mother figure to me. She told me what I could and could not do often. She would down talk my mother, which she has never met in her life. And that just doesn't work well. My mother's a great person. And around that same time, she has a younger son that's about the same age as my brother, my younger brother. And they were allowed to do things that I wasn't allowed to do. Like he got
what?
A brand new computer. I wasn't allowed to go on the brand new computer, but my little brother was.
When you asked about it, what were you told?
No, you're the one that puts viruses on all the computers.
Okay.
And my little brother's the one that downloaded all the video games.
What else do you want me to know about your stepmom before I bring her up to defend herself?
She's just a person that down talks not just me, but everybody. My mother, I believe in my eyes,
How about
she
her
feels
own
like
child?
No, never her own family.
So it's
that
not
I've ever heard.
Okay.
She has down talked my sister, as my sister's told
Give
me
me some
about.
examples of the down talk, because she could be trying to talk you up. A lot of times when people perceive someone as talking down to them, they're really trying to talk them up. For example, they might say, you need to get off the couch and go and enroll in a skill training program or a community college or a university, or go and get a job. Why are you talking down to me? No, he's trying to talk you up,
Yes.
not trying to talk you down.
She would tell me that my mother is not a good person, that she doesn't love her kids, and that she wasn't a very good mother.
That's not talking down about you. Tell me what she has talked down about you or to you.
She would tell me that I need to start respecting my father more, and that I should do this and
How's
should do
that talking down? You see what I'm saying? That's not talking down, that's talking up.
Another example would be like towards my sister. My sister actually is dating a boy that went to prison. I believe everybody gets a second chance and one mistake. And she says since he's in prison, he is not good enough for her, that he's a bad person and she should do better.
Has he changed his life?
Yes.
At the time she was saying that, was he in prison?
Yes. And he's
Well, then
still
she was right at that point. Now, she might not be right anymore. But if he was in prison at that point, perhaps that wasn't the best choice.
Plaintiff Hannah Stubbs says the defendant is her father, and she claims they had a great relationship until he met his fiancée, who's with him in court today.
Let me allow her to come and defend herself. Ma'am, you want to address these allegations? State your name.
Marsha Lubinsky.
She says you're unfair to her. You have been all along. You talk down to her, and you have money, and you're well endowed. Don't forget that. Which makes you very popular, I must say.
I might be well endowed, but I'm not well off. That's
Okay.
false. And I've never said anything bad about Hannah. Not anything she said. I did tell her sister that I think she can do better than dating a prisoner.
While he's in prison.
He's still in prison.
Right.
And I think she could do better. She has two little beautiful boys. She hardly knows this guy.
I would tell my daughter the
He
same
sees him
thing.
every weekend.
All right, and that's all I have to say.
All right, ma'am, you haven't told me enough to convince me that she's talked down to you like I suspected, other than if she talked about your mom. That was pretty bad. Did you do that?
I did not talk about her
Never talked
mother.
about her mom?
Never.
Sir, tell me about these allegations before we get to the medical bill she's suing you about.
Well, I don't think it's true because she wants to help Hannah, in the past when I've tried to help her out.
In what way?
When she didn't have a place to live, we offered her a place to live, a place to stay.
Did she come and stay?
No, because we told her that she'd have to abide by our rules, and pretty much she didn't want to follow.
Right. You ready to get to the medical bills?
Yes.
Tell me how he owes you for that.
When I was 18, I lived in Wisconsin Dells. I had gotten my own place with a couple girls, and we all worked at the exact same place. We were all friends. Well, my supervisor ended up hitting me in the nose because she got aggravated at me.
Why did she get aggravated enough to hit you in the nose?
Quite a long story, but I hooked her up with her boyfriend, which was our manager, and she thought he liked me. Big story.
Right.
So she ended up breaking my nose, and I went to the emergency room and was taken care of. And since he was my insurance holder, they mailed him 2 separate checks, one for $113 and one for $1,000 to pay off my medical bills. Well, he cashed the checks and spent the money, and now the collection agency is coming after me for $1,094.
All right. Sir?
I know that you have children, daughters. You love them very much. I love Hannah very much. She's very, very smart. She's very pretty. And she's got a very bad temper.
You mentioned my daughters, so finish the other part about my daughters.
But you love them very much, I'm sure.
You added something else to your daughter, too, I want you to say about mine.
They're very smart and very pretty.
There you go. All right, we can move on. All right. And what
and
about
I'd gotten
this
a call one day at work, and she wanted to use my computer. I'd bought a new computer. Me and my son had a new computer. I told her no, she couldn't use it. And after that, she hung up. And then when I come home later that day, she had punched holes in the walls in my home. Okay. She was so mad.
Does this relate to the unpaid medical bill?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Then the next problem that I'd heard was she had gotten into that argument with that girl at her work. Mm-hmm. And the girl at her work had hit her, broke her nose. And her other girlfriend had taken her to a hospital because of the broken nose. And she had taken her to the hospital.
Well,
and
you sure taking your time to get into why you don't believe you should owe this money. Go ahead.
She ended up taking her to a hospital's out of network. That's created
outside of your insurance
outside of my insurance network. That created this bill. So then I'd received the bill about a month later in the mail. Or I received a check, I should say, about a month later in the mail.
So I thought it wasn't covered. How did you get a check for something that wasn't
My insurance sent me a check.
All right, fine. What did you do with it?
I cashed it.
Why wouldn't you apply it to the purpose for which it was intended?
Because I had never received a bill on it. I didn't know if this was exactly for that bill. It just was a check from my insurance company.
From the insurance company that covers your medical bills.
Right.
2 checks at 2 separate dates.
They said,
and you weren't sure what they were for.
Right.
Even though your daughter had received medical services approximately for the same amount.
Yeah, it would have been more, but this would have been, I suppose, the out-of-pocket network charge.
Okay. I don't quite believe you're that naive, sir, to think that when you receive checks from your insurance company that provides medical benefits, I think you knew, sir. Your counterclaim for $1,691 for unpaid loans and interest. How does she owe you?
Well, I had given her a loan to get a car so she could complete her schooling at the high school. I wrote the check to the gentleman who had the car, and then she signed the title with an agreement of payments. Well, it was shortly after that she took over the car that she got fired from her job, and I received no payments. And then it was after that she ended up going off in the ditch and wrecking the car.
Ma'am?
Judge, I did lose my job, and I moved in with my sister, and I told him that I would pay the money as soon as I got another job. He was actually my mechanic on the car, and I made him check it because I had a car my mom bought me, and it just blew up. So I'm like, you check it. You can be the mechanic on it. And it was on my graduation day. He just got done checking it. I was driving it home, and it just
You had
20
an
miles down the
accident.
road. No. The accident that I had that he's talking about was in the snow. There was no damage to the car. The only thing that happened
What
was
happened the day of your graduation to
I
make
was
that
driving back-
relevant to the case?
I was driving back to my apartment. That's the day that I think the transmission went out on it, right after he got done checking and saying everything was okay. Transmission went out. He came, picked me up, and towed the car back to his house, and he's had the car for the past 2 years.
Okay, but you purchased it, right?
He purchased it, and I made an agreement to pay the payments back.
Right, you made an agreement to buy it from him, right?
And then does it say?
No. Let's get this out of the way.
Yes.
You made an agreement to buy the car from him.
Yes.
On
to make
payment.
payments on it. Yes. $400 a
Make
month.
payments for what purpose?
It was his idea to have me make $400
I don't care whose
payments
idea it was. Make payments for what purpose?
to pay him off with the car.
And then what? Own the car.
Correct.
So you were buying the car. You keep dodging that fact that you were buying the car. And when you buy a car, because it breaks down, that doesn't exempt you from paying the seller. Once he's given you the car, it's like a finance company who finances your car. You purchased the car from the dealer. When the car breaks down, you can't tell the finance company, I'm not paying, the car broke down.
Okay.
Can't do that. And I'm going to grant his judgment. $1,691. That includes the interest that you're suing for. $1,113 is your judgment. Sir, you have no real obligation to pay her medical expenses as an adult after 18 unless the court has ordered you to do so. However, since she incurred a bill and you were paid money, which you were to pay that bill with, and instead you converted that money to another use, which left her with a debt, you owe her. Both of you all received full judgments, leaving you, sir, with
$578.
$578. Have a good day. That's my judgment.
I'm really surprised, Hannah, that you said that you would lie like that. And I've never mistreated you or
You are
anybody.
full of- That's what I want to say. You are a liar. You know you don't talk my mother. The both of you do. As you would call me brainwashing, by
I
my
never
mother.
even see your mother. I don't
Exactly.
even see her.
So I don't understand why you could open your mouth.
I still love you, honey. I love you, honey.
Love you too, Dad.